Right, enough already. Goodness gracious, we have a lot to get through, staff, class. Glad you're all here, those of you that are here. The rest of you that are late, report to Ted after class for some administrative corrections. In the meantime, Ted will go down and do his usual thing of twiddling the knobs, won't you, Ted? Yes, good boy. Okay, you go down there and... Good boy. Right, so Petey Rogers. Petey Rogers has learned nothing, it seems, from being absolutely eviscerated, spanked and ring-punched bloody, verbally of course, in our debate of last year, followed up by a ridiculous cope video that he made where I basically repeated the dose, spanked this ridiculous imbecile again, and anyway, here he is still floating around on the interwebs, making out like he's credible and has something worthwhile hearing. No, Peter Rogers, you are an imbecile. You are a ridiculous, theologically based imbecile who is promoting a diet which is entirely inappropriate for a human being on the basis of absolutely no comprehension or command of the epistemology of science whatsoever, son. It's ridiculous, as are you. You are a ludicrous caricature upon yourself. Look at this, rabbit in the headlights. Look at this. Oh, God. And he's sitting in front of someone that's generous towards him, that's on his side. A fellow card-carrying high priest of the Church of Anorexia Vegana in the form of Jeff Nelson. My word, you're looking well, by the way, Jeff. As is Petey Rogers, isn't he? Looking well, aren't they? Anyway, before we crack on, the usual caveats are I will pause this video a lot to correct things that are wrong, which will be a lot of it, because it's just nonsense that these clowns have to say. If that's triggering for you, you're in the wrong place. I will use short words from time to time if I feel motivated to do so. If those are offensive to you, you're in the wrong place. Off you pop. Pretty much that's it. This is what I do when I'm doing my live responses. I just respond off the top of my head. I haven't watched this through. I don't know what's going to be said, although I've been told in an email that there's at least one or two very interesting comments made by Peter Rogers during this video, so I can't wait for that. In the meantime, we'll see who is in the house before we click off. Jay Morris was first in the house. Woohoo! Paddy was second. We love us some Paddy up in here, don't we? How is Francois, Paddy? Is he good? Ted wants to know. Yes, I want to know. How is Francois? See? Ted always agrees with me. Funnily, I can't understand why that is, but he does. Barry Threeberry is in the house. Still not getting your notifications, no surprise. Deborah's here in the house. Ellen's in the house. JMK2921. Peter Rogers does not stand a chance against the esteemed professor. No, he doesn't. And we already know that because, well, if you have a look back on my video offerings, you'll see a live debate between myself and young Petey Rogers here. I think it was January last year. It's had 60,000 views. It's one of my more popular videos. So if you haven't seen that, it's well worth a look. And then there's a cope video that Peter Rogers made after being absolutely smashed in a debate by me. And then I smashed him on his cope video in another video. So that one got fewer views because I don't know. Anyway, this is a third look at Petey Rogers. So let's crack on with that. Robert's here. Good to see you, Robert. Coach Angela Mullins is here. Coach Angela Mullins now. Good. Love it. Love it. Hobby Halloween is here. Ben's here. Good to see you, Ben. Yep. All right. And a bunch of other bigots are up here in the house. Let's crack on with the commentary by Jeff the Veg Head and Petey Rogers, MD, which I don't know what that stands for. It can't possibly be medical doctor, because medical doctors know a little bit about science, don't they? Not Petey, though. He's a theologue. Anyway, Petey, tell us all about things and stuff. Let me know if there's any problem with the audio, as usual, staff. Good to see you, Jonathan. Good to see you, Rich. Right, let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm really excited about today's discussion because we're diving into a topic that confuses even many experts. That's lipids, fats, cholesterols, all the biochemistry and physiology.
Yeah, expert. X is either an unknown quantity or somebody that used to be something that isn't that anymore. And spurt is a drip under pressure. And I think Peter Rogers is definitely a drip under pressure. And yeah, well, he'll prove that for me. I don't need to say much more about that at this stage. Off you go, Petey.
Behind them. And we're going to explore it on a level most people never reach. Joining me is someone...
A theological level of stupidity that most people never reach, yep.
Who I think you probably know. He is unique.
Hey, Dave, good to see you, mate. You were slightly late, it seems. You'll need to report to Ted after class. You know how he hates lateness. That's just him saying, hello, Dave. That's not him spanking you, because he's too busy at the moment twiddling the knobs down there, aren't you? Good boy. Good boy. Right. Carry on.
Qualified to take us there.
No. Jeff Nelson has just said Peter Rogers is qualified to talk to us about lipids and stuff. No, he isn't. Not at all. Number one, Peter Rogers' qualification is MD. Okay, not human nutrition, not human biochemistry, not human physiology, MD. And actually, he doesn't apply even the most basic semblance of appreciation of the epistemology of science to his practice. It's all theological. I've come across a lot of people who are very, very limited in my time. This guy is almost on Richard Burgess level of limitation in terms of his ability to interpret science. So anyway, let's do that.
Dr. Peter Rogers. Welcome, Dr. Rogers. If you followed my channel, you already know how much respect I have for Peter's work. He's a physicist.
Well, therefore, Jeff, that shows how very poor your judgment is.
Physician, researcher.
No, he's not a researcher. He's not a researcher at all, Jeff. Please point me to Peter Rogers' publication history as a researcher.
And a teacher with an extraordinary mind. He's someone who...
An extraordinary mind. People go, and if you haven't seen it, once I'm finished with this video, go and watch that video where I did a debate, a live debate with Peter Rogers, and you'll see what sort of an extraordinary mind we're talking about here. Wow.
Who can lock himself in a room for a few days.
I wish he would, and stay there.
Read hundreds or thousands of pages of medical and scientific literature.
And misinterpret the whole fucking lot from top to bottom. Yep. We saw that in that debate, and then in the Cope video, which I've dealt with.
And then emerge with a completely fresh, clearer understanding of a complex topic. He has that rare ability to...
It's just blowing smoke up the guy's ass, when frankly, Peter Rogers is a bona fide low IQ imbecile. These are the facts, I'm sorry.
See through the noise, synthesize evidence.
Evidence, you say? Fuck me, really?
Explain it in a way that's both precise and practical.
No, neither of those. Fallacious and ridiculous, perhaps. Thank you, Fully Laden Swallow, for the $10 super chat action. We love us some super chats up in here. And goodness me, do we need them here in Pimbatia. Because it's 2 steps forward and 1 steps back doing the last Lager waltz here, trying to sort this place out. And there's a bunch of shit going down again. I'll fill you in on that another day, though, perhaps, if I feel minded to. But all I can say is Ted is not cheap to feed, is Ted, and we need your help. So everybody, open up your wallets and open up your hearts and show us some love. Prove to us that we're not wasting our fucking time here. Okay, do you love us? Prove it. All right, let's go.
Dr. Rogers has held very high-level responsibilities in clinical medicine.
So what?
Public health. He's built a reputation as one of the most rigorous, evidence-driven voices in the field of nutrition.
Absolute fucking nonsense, Jeff. Go and watch his attempt at trying to hold his own with me in a basic debate about the science underpinning nutrition, Jeff. If you've got more than 2 brain cells, which is clear you don't from your standpoint in the first place, anyway, mate, you will not be able to come to any other conclusion having watched that debate that Peter and I had some time ago. Goodness gracious, Josephine, how late can you be for class? Report to Ted afterwards. That's just Ted waving to you. saying, hello, welcome to class. Of course, that's what it is. Yeah. Almost missed the live. Well, you didn't miss it. You're here, but you were late. So you can also report to Ted after class. Thank you, if you don't mind, Valerie. Ted needs some company down the back of class afterwards. Otherwise, you'll get into some kind of trouble.
And chronic disease.
Oh, by the way, before I get too far into this is quite a long one. So we're here for as long as I can bear it. All right? Sorry about that. That's just how it is. Right.
And he's not just familiar with the literature, he masters it.
Absolute fucking nonsense, Jeff Nelson. Peter Rogers is one of the most incompetent, bungling, stumbling buffoons I have come across in his attempts to decode science and communicate what science is and what it's not and what it can and cannot say or establish to an unsuspecting, unwashed public. Okay? So get your facts straight.
Often finding insights and even specialists are going to
Why is it that these vegan buffoons are all androgynous, I wonder? Please point me to a manly vegan who's not juicing, by which I don't mean juicing fruit. That's not what I mean. All right? Ben, thank you for the love. Love you. Nothing you can do about it. Stoker, good to see you. Right, what's next?
overlook. So that's exactly what he's done this week with lipids. He's taken a deep dive into the science.
Oh, good. I can't wait for the deep dive into the science. This will be hilarious.
Metabolism, diet, cardiovascular risk, cell membrane.
Risk, you say. This will be interesting.
Brains, a whole.
Considering that there is no evidence whatsoever extant anywhere on this planet that can point us to any indication of our risk of any heart health outcome as it relates to any aspect of nutrition whatsoever. None. It does not exist. Harry Louse, King of Tasmania, good to see you in the house. Can't stay off to a meeting. Well, that's a poor excuse. Report to Ted afterwards for a bit of administrative correction. And this is not Ted just waving to you, Harry. You're getting a good spanking right now. Yes, I'm spanking Harry. But now I'm going to go and spank the knobs. Good boy. You go and do that. I can't do a thing with Ted. Sorry, boys and girls. It's incredible. He's so low energy these days, isn't he? At least he showed up for class today. Previously, he's not been seen at the camouflage training. Right.
Whole picture. And he's come back with new perspectives that could change how you think about fat, cholesterol, and health.
I doubt it very much that Peter Rogers is going to change the way I think about anything whatsoever. And anyone with more than 3 brain cells to rub together will probably be on my side on that one and feel similarly. Because, as I say, if you've never heard Peter Rogers speak before, as soon as Jeff Nelson shuts the fuck up and lets him, you'll see what I mean about this boy being an absolute imbecile, bona fide, low IQ imbecile. A trained monkey grinder, singly incapable of an independent or original thought of his own, and absolutely without any credibility to interpret, let alone educate anybody on any aspect of science whatsoever. A theologue, basically. I mean, even look at his background even. It's theologically based, for goodness sake. Like he's making himself out to be some kind of messiah, is he? Don't know. Anyway, Peter, for God's sake.
Altogether. Peter, it's always a privilege to have you here. You've been digging into this for a while, I know.
Oh, shut up, Jeff, for goodness sake.
Are you ready to start?
Yeah.
He has been for some time, Jeff. Although he's not ready to actually produce anything worthwhile. Thank you for the love. $5 US greenback dollars. We love those. They're worth a bit more than Pacific pesos, so that's handy. Thanks for teaching me how to interpret scientific literature. Words matter. Yes, they do. Thanks for the love. Appreciate it. Keep them coming, boys and girls. As I say, prove to me that I'm not wasting my time here. There are other things going on that I could be doing. But I'm choosing to educate and amuse and entertain and share my time with you folks. Okay?
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
If I died tomorrow, I would want all patients with memory lapses lasting more than 2 years to know this.
Well, how are they going to remember?
Here we go. USA 2025, vegan civil war, the high-fat phonies against the low-fat fanatics.
Oh, God. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Hello, His Most Catholic Majesty. Good to see you in the house. Hello, A. Mick. Good to see you too. All of you folks are late to class. Goodness. I know we're just getting kicked off, but you still need to be here in time. Otherwise, well, you'll get a visit from Ted, won't you? I suggest that all you latecomers report to Ted so that he doesn't have to come and find you. Hello, Joff. You're in the same boat. Late to class. Report to Ted. Thank you. Right, carry on, Peter. Tell us all about your theological belief structure.
And this picture kind of makes me laugh because it's the Irish fighting on both sides of the Civil War, and the Scots did the same.
That's hilarious. How does it relate to nutrition in any way?
For USA in 1865. Now, I just want to say there will come a time someday when there is a judgment, and I think the
Right, we're all going to be judged. Yep.
paleo, keto, carnivore, low carb is definitely going to get thumbs down from Jesus Christo.
All right, so now Peter Rogers is taking the position that he is somehow in communion with God himself and knows God's opinion on nutrition and feels like he knows how God's going to react to people on judgment. Okay, so do we have an ego problem? Much. I think we do, Peter.
I don't know where they're going to end up, maybe about the third circle of hell or something like that.
Oh, right, so we're all going to hell. We carnivore, high-fat, low-carb, keto zealots. Off to hell, according to Peter. You're starting quite well with the science, though, making sure that it's all theologically based.
Do you know where processed food is made? It's made in Hell's Kitchen.
Ah, of course, in hell. Hell itself is where that's made. And who's promoting processed food? I'm not. Is anybody here in the chat promoting processed food in any way as being a good idea? Yes, I agree. It's absolutely blasphemous. It's disgraceful that Peter Rogers would even consider that was an appropriate way to start. That's another way of putting it. Yes, absolutely. Hell's Kitchen. Yes, Hell's Kitchen, New Jersey. New York, I mean. Sorry. That's what I mean. Yep, he's even... That's what I say. He hasn't learned a damn thing. He's just got more and more... Well, lunatic. Yeah, more fanatical, more theological, if that was possible, and less science-based. I mean, Jeff Nelson's just given him a great big introduction talking about what a science-based individual this guy is, and he starts out with theological claptrap. Incredible. All right.
You know, that's for the blatantly lying to the pros. And I hope you realize I'm not trying to demonize Bart K or the high-fat phonies.
Oh, I got to mention, I live rent-free in P.D. Rogers', well, I was going to say mind. Yeah, maybe I should think about it, whether or not... I don't think he's got a mind. I really don't. I think he's just an absolute fucking imbecile. Yeah.
What about the
Cheers for the shout-out, though, Petey.
high-fat phonies? I think they've done a lot of good. So, yeah, you know, everybody needs to make a living. They sell and market a few things.
Well, like what?
So I think they'll probably get...
What do you sell and market, Petey Rogers? As an MD, if you're even practicing as one. What do you guys sell? Anything? So, not only are you a theologically based, blasphemous, disgraceful individual, you're also a fucking hypocrite, aren't you, Peter? Incredible. Your fame at last, fame, because I got mentioned by Peter Rogers, who, as I say, is probably still reeling from being absolutely punched bloody verbally by myself in a series of interactions, both to his face and in response to videos he made in a cope fashion thereafter. The door's still open, Petty, if you want to come and have another face-to-face discussion with me. That'd be fine too.
At a stopover in purgatory, about 100 years for everything they lie to the pros about: olive oil, nuts and seeds, omega-3, soy, avocados.
So just listing things, Peter, and giving us your opinion isn't actually establishing a damn thing, is it? The only thing you've established so far is that you're a theologically based, blasphemous turd and a fucking hypocrite. Not to mention an imbecile, which we already knew.
And these fungicides, so-called preservatives. So anyways, there's Dante in purgatory. Okay, and then...
Stop with that fucking mouth noise. You irritating little prick.
I think the proponents of the low-fat vegan diet, they're going up to heaven. They're taking the stairway to heaven there.
Oh my God. It's sooner than everybody else, it would seem, if they do indeed go to heaven. Okay? Yes, what you're saying there is correct, Peter. They will tend to end up not living sooner, on average, than those that follow a species-appropriate, species-specific diet, I would venture to suggest. Of course, there's no evidence for that, or to the contrary, existing anywhere on the planet. So that's the caveat I'm making there, quite clearly. I'm not saying there's any evidence for what I'm suggesting. I'm just suggesting that common sense and an application of the actual epistemology of science would lead any sensible human being to the conclusion that human beings ought to eat a diet appropriate for their speciation, which, Peter, is not vegan. It is destitute of not less than 13 essential nutrients for human beings. Okay? Sorry about that, just the facts, though. Never mind the theology, we're here for the facts.
Now, I just want to say about these videos for education about dietary lipids, okay? Jeff Nelson, he's already done most of this stuff. The videos on Veg Source are excellent for whether...
But Jeff Nelson is not a scientist, is he? Neither are you, Peter. So neither one of you is actually in your lane if you think yourself remotely qualified to speak about this publicly. I don't mind if people who are unqualified speak about a topic online, so long as what they say is correct, robust and unassailable. In fact, unfortunately, what you turds have to say is demonstrably false, disingenuous, disinformative and misanthropic. It's disgraceful. It's against your Hippocratic oath, Peter, actually, and you ought to shut your ignorant fucking pie hole, frankly. It's disgraceful. You ought to be struck off the medical register, frankly. Sam, love the love. Thank you for the love. Appreciate it very much. 10 US greenback dollars. Hope all is well. Plus or minus, Sam. We're having some issues around the farm. Anyway, I'm here with you, so let's not talk about the farm too much. And I'm sure things will come right if we continue to do the right things, which we're trying to. It's a learning curve, of course, and we're taking all the right advice from all the right people about all the particular issues that are going on. Both veterinary and practical and also legally. That's for another day. So yes, keep the super chats coming. Love it. Right. Anyway, tell us all about fats, though, and your theological belief structure, Peter.
Or not, you should allow any oil in your diet.
You should not. No oil at all. There you go.
All about nuts and seeds.
What about nuts and seeds, Peter?
Like the bogus science on the nut. Basically anything that's...
Bogus science. Well, Peter, you're not a scientist. Neither are you competent to interpret science, patently. So why would we take your protestations about what is bogus and what isn't bogus remotely seriously? Considering that you're a theologue, a blasphemist, an imbecile, a hypocrite. Why would we take you seriously for a second?
Commercially valuable, nuts, olive oil. Those are $1 billion commercial products in omega-3s. They're going to get lots of fake advertising, science spelled with the first S being a $sign. And so Jeff already has playlists of videos on all this stuff. Okay, and the DHA scams, how people try to market it and sell it. Also recently there was a long debate. I was there as part of it on the debate of Rip Esselstyn and Garth Davis on whether or not olive oil was a good idea.
It's not.
So we went in a lot of detail there. That's almost an hour long, that video.
That doesn't make it actually worthwhile hearing, Peter, because, well, neither of the commentators that you've just put up on the screen there are remotely competent commentators on that topic. At all. I love Petey's little fucking diagrams that he does. It's just like a school child has been let loose on the whiteboard with some markers. It's incredible. Tell us all about it, Petey.
Now, just some basic epidemiology.
There's basic epidemiology, doodly moodly middlemology. Good.
The border of USA and Mexico.
Yeah.
Here's northern Mexico, the Tarahumara people. That means like fleet runner. Sierra Madre Mountains. Sierra means like a saw.
Who gives a rip-roaring fuck, Peter? Just get to the point.
The top of the mountains looks like a saw. Copper Canyon area.
Oh, for God's sake, get to the fucking point, Peter.
So anyways, the Tarahumara and the Pima used to be combined together. Then
So?
After the Mexican-American War, 1848, Pima were absorbed into Arizona, and they now eat a westernized diet, similar to the SAD diet,
And
standard
Mexican folks don't?
American diet. The Tarahumara have kept their old ways.
All right, so are you about to suggest to us that the westernized diet is not a good idea? Because we're going to agree on that. That's about the only thing we will agree on, Peter. And what's your point? Oh!
Eating lots of beans, okay, lots of corn, squash.
Literally, a child has been let loose on the whiteboard. But this is exactly what I'm talking about, though, Dave. People do take this retarded gibbon seriously. They think Peter Rogers is credible. Half of his supporters came across to my channel to comment about how he absolutely destroyed me in the debate. Well, go and watch the thing if you haven't seen it and make your own determination. Wow, really? You think Peter Rogers did well? Universally, their commentary was Peter Rogers did well because he kept his sense of humour while I absolutely tore him to pieces in the most abrasive and disrespectful way possible. Because you see, here's the thing. People get the exact level of respect from me that they earn and deserve. So if I'm being rude and abrasive and abusive to you, it's because you have fucking earned that. Okay, and Peter Rogers has earned it in spades. In spades. All right. Valerie, thank you for the love. Keep the love coming, folks, throughout the show, so that we can, keep these shows rolling, keep it happening, so they don't evaporate, basically. I appreciate it very much. Do what you can. I'm not suggesting you should put yourself in a situation that you don't give more than you can, but give as much as you can. Love it. Thank you very much. Carry on, folks.
The Pima are a health disaster. They got all the Western diseases.
That's very scientific. They're a health disaster. They have all the Western diseases. What are you going to back that up with, Peter? Nothing as usual? Okay, just your theological opinion. Opinions, Peter Rogers. Opinions being just like anal orifices, or orifi, I should say, in that almost everybody's got one, and it's full of shit. And yours is absolutely full of shit from top to bottom.
The Tarahumara, they're world famous for being ultramarathoners. Their diet, by the way, Tarahumara.
No, they're not. Has anybody here ever heard of the Tarahumara being world famous for being ultramarathoners? No? Neither have I. What's next?
Is about 75% carbohydrate, about 13% fat.
What's the problem with your digestion there, Pete, that's going while you speak? Do you have some kind of problem with your digestion? Is there some kind of problem with your diet or habits in some other way, perhaps? I wonder. Yeah, Dave saw the shouldn't even really be called a debate that Peter and I had. He was a rabbit in the headlights. He had no idea what was coming. It was an absolute fucking train wreck. It was a dumpster fire, wasn't it, kids? It was awesome. Peter advocates that diabetes is not about sugar but is caused by fat. Yeah, well, that's all we need to know about Peter Rogers. Imbecile. Absolute fucking imbecile. Peter Rogers' death diet. Eat starch and a lot of it. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Fat and about 12% fat, 13% protein.
Because you say so, Peter? What are you going to back up those figures with as to what is eaten by these people? Who has sat there and watched and observed what they do in fact eat, unbeknownst to the people being observed that they're being observed, because that can affect the way people behave if you observe them. If you don't observe them at all, you've got no basis to say what they eat whatsoever. You can't rely on people to tell the truth on respondent surveys. So you've got to watch them to see what they eat. Only then you've got a problem, because when you watch people, they change their behaviour to suit the fact that they're being watched. So you've got no fucking idea what they eat, Peter. None at all. Clown.
So I would like fat a little lower than that, but the
Who gives a fuck what you'd like? You're not trained in human nutrition, Peter. Or science, or common sense.
Tarahumara, they're constantly running.
Stop making that fucking noise with your mouth, you absolute cunt. What's next?
and they don't have any cars. They run up and down the mountains all the time. They have one holiday a year where they run about 100 miles in 2 days.
All right, so now you know about the fucking life habits of everybody that lives in Tarahumara, do you? No, you fucking don't, you clown. Jesus. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You absolute fucking turd.
And like every guy in town can do that. The women run about 50 miles in that time. So they're super fit. Here's a typical picture of the Tarahumara.
According to who, Peter? On the basis of what? And stop making that fucking noise with your mouth, you cunt.
Guy Connor did some research on them. He's friends with Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn.
So what?
And he said corn and beans were their chief sources of calories. There was
According to whom, on the basis of what? Still.
a virtual absence of hypertension, obesity, and the usual age-related rise.
Right, so the only things that affect any of those things in a person's lives, Peter, is their diet, is it? No, there are no other degrees of freedom that affect any of those health signals, for want of a better term, are there not? Just people's diet, based on what you say their diet is, based on having absolutely no actual knowledge of what their diet actually is whatsoever. I see. Okay, what's next? I'm glad you're here to do the science for us, though, Peter.
Serum cholesterol. I can tell you in the Western hospitals, it's like all the patients have hypertension, prediabetes, diabetes, fatty liver, coronary artery disease. I don't even look on the chart. I just assume they automatically have it. And if I look at it in a chart.
That's some great doctoring, isn't it? Awesome. I hope the General Medical Council is watching this, because Peter Rogers is not competent to be an MD and should be struck off. Absolutely, without any question. He has no business practicing medicine whatsoever. There it is right there. Oh, I just assume people are pathological. I don't need to test anything or establish any of those things according to the ridiculous, farcical, fallacious standards that the allopathic medicinal community applies to such things. Oh, I don't even need to be bothered with that, says Peter. I just assume it. Oh, okay. That's some brilliant doctoring.
And
literally, that's doctoring.
I don't see hypertension or prediabetes and diabetes. I assume they have it and they just forgot to put it in the chart.
Oh, of course. They just forgot to put it there. Good.
That's usually the case. Okay.
No, it's not okay, Peter Rogers. It's not remotely okay, you absolute fucking buffoon.
Here's the old look at what the Pima used to look like in the late 1800s. Here's what they look like now. Tons.
That's right. So, n equals 2 versus n equals, what, about 12, however many are in that other picture there. That absolutely establishes your point, doesn't it, Peter? Do you see what I'm getting at here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, staff and super intelligent bears of the colour yellow?
Yes, we see what you're saying. This guy is an absolute fucking retard. Ha 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 ha! I'm going to go and twiddle the knobs.
Good boy. I can't do a thing with him. Sorry, boys and girls.
And tons of obesity. They're notorious for that. And it's the same with any population. That
literally, Peter, do you have a small child that's doing these pictures for you? Look at this. And what makes you think that any of this is science-based? At all?
It's kept a traditional plant-based diet. Here's a Yanomami. They're in the Amazon jungle on the border of Brazil and Venezuela.
Is that anywhere near the Whakawi tribe? They're about 3 feet tall and they live in a place where the grass is always 4 feet tall. We're the Whakawi. We're the Whakawi. I know didn't have to spell that out for most of you, but I just thought I'd help, I'm here all week.
Venezuela, same thing. They looked at 10,000 of them adults, and there was no...
They looked at them, did they? What do you mean they looked at them, Peter, these 10,000 adults?
There's no hypertension.
Oh, right. So they measured every one of them, 10,000 of them, over a time course series of a significant period of time to establish what the trends in those people's blood pressure genuinely was? Did they? I think you'll find they didn't, Peter. Whoops. That's tragic for you. What's next?
They don't add salt to their food.
Oh, right. So now you know what every single one of the people that lives in that community does or does not do. Maybe they don't add table salt. Perhaps there are other sources of salt that they do in fact add. Maybe, Peter. Did you think of that? In fact, have you ever thought anything at all original? Do you actually have enough brain cells to activate a thought process over and above the severe taxation on the very limited grey material that you have, that's apparently just enough to keep you breathing, but not enough to keep you from making that fucking irritating mouth noise. By which I mean every fucking sound that comes out of it. How's that?
Their blood pressure stays the same from when they're born, basically, to when they're in
right. So now you follow them from birth, you say, do you? My God. Do you see why I get so frustrated with goons like this one? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, staff. Wow. Yes, orify. Indeed. It's a good word, isn't it, orify? Almost as good as fallacious or cunt. They're all good words too, aren't they? What are you saying here, Dave? Saw a vegan tweet the other day. Listed 12 supplements and asked followers what more they needed to improve. Yeah. Oh, boy. Incredible. Please stop, sir. This is making my burgers taste worse. Is it? Sorry about that. Yes, he just admitted malpractice. There it is. As I say, I hope the General Medical Council is watching this. There it is. Let's just assume people have a pathology without testing for it. Presumably that means you're going to intervene with pharmacological interventions, which might be vastly contraindicated in the case of someone who does not have the pathology that you assume they have. They just forgot to put it on the chart, said Peter. Oh, of course they did. Right. Dear, oh shitting dear. How does this not wake people up to their fucking bullshit? I don't know, Dave. I really don't know how anyone can possibly take this absolute fuck monkey seriously. He's beyond a joke. Absolutely beyond a joke.
Their elderly years, average blood pressure was like 94/60.
Right. Taken how many times? Over what time course? Plus or minus what? What was the noise around that signal, Peter? No? All things that a competent scientist would be able to tell us. Yeah. My God, if your aorta is that far up your chest, you've got a serious problem, haven't you?
Okay, here's the Japanese.
Right. So now we've got pictures of Japanese people. Well, that will prove your point, absolutely.
And they ate predominantly a rice-based diet, let's say in the ballpark.
No, they don't. That's not true either, Peter. Absolute rubbish. Who told you that? Where did you get that from?
85 to 90% white rice, which is
85 to 90% of what Japanese people eat is white rice, is it? Fuck me, are you serious? The problem is this boy actually is. He thinks he has a point to make. I'm dying to hear what it's going to be.
only 1% of calories from fat, so that's an
Calories, you say? Calories? No. Peter, absolutely not. And even if the concept of calories were valid and correct, which it is not, you're now suggesting that 1% of the intakes in terms of units of heat energy, so-called, that Japanese people intake is fat. Less than 1%. Is that what you just said? It sounded like it. Perhaps I misheard. Perhaps you misspoke. Perhaps a lot of things. Perhaps one of these days you'll get it together that you're an incompetent buffoon and should shut the fuck up.
extremely low-fat diet.
No, it isn't. The Japanese diet is not an extremely low-fat diet. That's false, Peter. Absolutely, fundamentally, factually false. Sorry about that. Not sorry.
You know, they're all skinny. And
all Japanese people are skinny. There you go. All Japanese people are skinny. Excellent.
And the thing that got their health in trouble was...
Hang on, the Japanese people's health is in trouble? Despite eating less than 1% of their heat units, so-called in the form of fat, and all being skinny? You're not about to absolutely eviscerate yourself without any help from me, are you, Peter? Again? I suspect he is. Can't wait for this. Where you go?
They were smoking
Stop making that fucking noise, you cunt.
a lot of cigarettes like a chimney, and they had...
they were all smoking a lot. That's what caused the problem, whatever the problem is that you've identified. That's why eating your proposed diet, which you're saying they eat, which they fucking don't, they all got in trouble, all of them, because they all smoke, all Japanese people. Every one of them. Well done, Peter. Good.
About 12 to 14 grams a day of salt. But just
Right, they all eat 12 to 14 grams of salt as well. Every single Japanese person on the planet. Good.
despite that, they still were relatively healthy.
Dave, you've lived in Japan. Is any of this correct, even remotely? Please let me know.
With very little
I'd
coronary
have to be barking up the wrong tree.
disease, and they were very long lived. They're, in the same.
Oh, right. All Japanese people are very long-lived too. Is that correct? You're going to say blue zones, though, and the Okinawans now, even though that's not all Japanese people. And even though actually the records that substantiate the longevity of the Okinawans are not extant. And actually, the blue zones fallacy has been debunked 1,000 times or more by really quite competent scientists, including, but not limited to myself. As a theologically based piece of claptrappery propaganda and nonsensical pseudoscience, well, anti-science, not even pseudoscience, it's anti-science. It's just theology, propaganda, and smoke and mirrors. All right, what's next?
Similar ballpark, especially the Okinawans, but
There we go. Good. I'm glad I was right again.
they lived a long time.
No, they don't, Peter. Necessarily at all. There is absolutely nothing extant to substantiate that claim, let alone what all people in Okinawa eat. My good friend Jess Randall lives in Okinawa presently for the second tour there. She's a military wife. She knows what they do eat. She's there on the ground with her eyes. She can observe these things, and she's told me what Okinawans do eat, Peter. And it's not what you claim it is. Okay? Sorry about that, not sorry.
After the Seventh-day Adventists, they were up amongst the most long-lived people.
Ah, yes, the Seventh-day Adventists, yes. Who don't have any other habits other than supposedly eating a diet which is poor in animal products, which isn't true either, Peter. Because, most of them do, not all of them. So they're not told theologically not to drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes? Socioeconomically, for some reason, they're not slightly better off than other populations? They don't spend a bit less time with problematic technologies and things? They don't get a bit more exercise than others? There aren't 1,000 billion other confounding covariates that play into their lifespans? Are there not? Just the diet, is it, Peter? You fucking imbecile? You absolute fucking clown?
Whole world.
This pisses me off. They don't want you to know this. Did you know that white willow bark, the source of aspirin, works better than the pill itself because of its complete mix of natural compounds?
Good, natural compounds, that's what you need.
And then here's Bruce Lee, the great.
Right, well, Bruce Lee. He's representative of all people from wherever Bruce Lee was from. Absolutely he is.
Bruce Lee.
Yep, Bruce
And
Lee.
all the extras, you'll notice, they're all skinny.
Oh, yes, all people from Japan are skinny. Because it didn't say on the casting thing that we need you to look like athletes to be an extra in this particular film at all, did they, Peter? No. Good.
The only guy with a little bit of pudge on him is Bolo, and I think he's taking steroids, I'm guessing. And
Everyone with a bit of pudge takes steroids. Good, Peter. This is getting even better. Every moment this gets better and better, doesn't it? Next level brain fog is a pretty good descriptor there. Fallacious, all of it, yes. He is absolutely intolerable, is Peter Rogers. Oh, my God. Yep. 100% bullshit. Yes, I knew that. I was just getting you to confirm it, having lived there yourself. You've also lived in Pimbatia for a brief period, haven't you, Dave? You are AWOL, soldier. Ted told me, he looked around this morning, he was looking for you to report for duty. He said, you're not here. It's unbelievable. You'll be court-martialed when you get back here. It's incredible that you think you can just walk out of Pimbatia whenever you feel like it. This is the Hotel California, people. Yes, not one word is worth hearing or correct in any way, shape or form. Correct. Yep, Okinawa usually gets their worst health outcomes to the rest of Japan. Yep, absolutely. But let's not go there, though, because the facts are absolutely destructive to Peter's theological standpoint. Is ridiculous nonsense. Bruce Lee was Chinese. Good. Yeah, I wasn't sure There we go. That confirms that. There's a super sticker from Josephine. We love you, Josephine. There's nothing you can do about it. Peter Rogers and Michael Greger need to co-author a book entitled The Pale Zones, or The Stupid Zones, or We Two Are Fucking Imbeciles, or maybe they just need to not publish anything ever again. That'd be better, wouldn't it? The Meek Zones, like it? Good. Yep, okay, so there's a second comment along the same lines. Yes. Oh dear. Peter, you fucking turd. You ridiculous fucking imbecile. You absolute mindless cunt. What's next?
Meat. But everybody's skinny. You show me a rice eater.
Yes, everybody in Japan is skinny, even people who are Chinese or from Hong Kong. Because they're Japanese too, according to Peter.
I'll show you a skinny person. White rice, 1% of calories from fat.
Ah, right. So white rice is 1% of so-called heat units from fat, rather than the diet of Japanese, which you are falsely claiming to be based almost entirely on white rice, Peter. I see. I did mishear you. Nonetheless, your point still falls flat on its face, doesn't it? Because, well, how many Japanese people are there? And have you sat down every single day and watched them all without them knowing they were being watched? So that you know what they in fact did eat, Peter. No, you fucking didn't, did you? All right? Oaktown girl, you are very, very late for class. You need to report to Ted afterwards for a bit of administrative correction. Ted will not tolerate lateness to class. Anyway, welcome. I'm pleased you're here. Ted's a bit cross, but that's his problem, really, isn't it? Yes, you're late as well, Joseph. Or Joseph? I don't know. Either way, you're late. And you can report to Ted as well after class for a bit of whatever it is he wants to do. Okay. Carry on, Peter, though. Just what you always do. Just carry on like a fucking imbecile.
So it makes you skinny. In these same
Right,
populations,
so being Japanese makes you skinny, as does eating white rice, apparently. Hey, if I ate nothing but white rice, I'd probably be skinny too. However, not all Japanese people are skinny, and the Japanese diet is not based almost entirely on white rice. In fact, Peter.
where everybody's skinny.
And even if it was, are there other degrees of freedom at play around Japanese lifestyles that differ from others? Yes, there are. Fuck off. Right.
They usually don't have next to zero hypertension, next to zero.
They usually don't have next to zero hypertension. That's some good English, isn't it, Peter? Awesome. Again, are there any other degrees of freedom that come to play around the level of hypertension typically exerted, according to whom, on the basis of what I don't know, around their hypertension or lack thereof? Yes.
For diabetes, next to 0% of the population will typically have autoimmune disease, coronary disease, because all those diseases go together. Here's Papua New Guinea. They're eating about 93% of their calories from sweet potatoes.
Ah, you were there, were you, Peter? Once again, same argument. Were you? No, you weren't. You have no idea what people from Papua New Guinea in fact do eat. None at all, still.
They're skinny, energetic, and
Well, hang on a minute. Is that what we're seeing in this image? You just said they're skinny. Are they? Look at the one third from the left, for example. Is he skinny, Peter? Yeah, I know. He's wrong again about the hyper. I'm just pointing to the fact that all of these so-called facts that Peter Rogers is coming out with are all theological belief structures. Not one of them is a fact established with anything whatsoever. It's just fucking nonsense from start to finish. A continuous excremental torrent of garbage that comes out of this ridiculous cunt's mouth. It's unbelievable.
muscular. Okay.
Okay. Fat is bad. Okay. Carbohydrates are good. Okay.
Another interesting thing is, despite the fact they also smoked like chimneys, they had 6 times less lung cancer than the Americans.
Right, well, that's interesting, isn't it?
And it's thought that it was
And again, you don't know how much they smoke. And you said they all smoke. Do they? All of them? Every single one? Nobody from Papua New Guinea doesn't smoke. Fuck's sake, clown.
because of the low-fat diet, so they didn't get as
Right. Because of the low-fat diet, you say. Well, what do you back that up with, Peter? Anything at all? No, again, just your opinion. Okay.
much tissue
Fucking idiot.
hypoxia, because there's a additive effect from the cigarette smoke as there is from the fat diets to cause tissue hypoxia, which can
Rubbish, Peter. Absolute fucking nonsense. He just said a high-fat diet causes hypoxia. No, it fucking doesn't, Peter. Wrong.
lead to mitochondrial injury and the subsequent Warburg effect, where the cell transforms itself from a team player, part of an organ system, making lots of energy with oxygen metabolism. You can produce about 18 times
Looks like Jeff Nelson is frozen to death at the top there.
more oxygen, 18 times more ATP from oxygen metabolism than you can from anaerobic metabolism. So with a
Oh, you absolute clown. Fuck me. Are you that fucking stupid, Peter Rogers? Is it possible to be that fucking stupid? Apparently it is.
mitochondrial injury from the hypoxia,
What hypoxia is that, Peter? Still. Thank you very much. Gritty image photography. Love it. £1.99p. Love it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Ted will put that in his little pocket. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's a good... Yeah. Wow. It just goes from sublime to ridiculous, doesn't it? Right. Okay. Go on, though. Peter, tell us all about
the
it.
cell will transform itself into becoming like an anaerobic bacteria. And that's
All right. No, it doesn't.
the Warburg effect of cancer transformation of a cell due to mitochondrial injury. Okay, and then also Jeff gave a very good lecture on the Okinawa.
No, he didn't. It was rubbish, Peter. It was absolute theological rubbish, claptrap, inaccuracies, lies, obfuscations, misanthropy of the highest order. It was disgraceful.
It's called the Okinawa is the only blue zone that really matters.
That's right. It doesn't, because it still isn't one. There are no such things as blue zones. It's a construct. It's a theological belief structure put together, actually not even by a scientist, but, well, by somebody that works in the media, actually. A reporter. Because he had this theory that he wanted to put forward. As I said, it's been debunked 1,000 times by even half-decent scientists, let alone really good ones like me.
And look at the Okinawa diet.
You mean, look what you've written the Okinawan diet is there, even though it isn't. Just writing what the Okinawan diet is doesn't mean that's what the Okinawan diet is. It isn't, Peter. That is a lie that you've got up there on the chart, on the screen there. It's inaccurate. It is not what the Okinawan diet actually is, in fact. Sorry about that, not sorry.
They were getting about 85% of their calories.
No, they weren't getting any calories at all still, Peter. It is physically impossible to consume calories. Calories are manifest as photons. They have zero rest mass, i.e. do not interact with the Higgs field, i.e. cannot be brought to rest in any inertial frame of reference. That's just science. Sorry about that once again. Not sorry.
From carbohydrate. Total protein was about 9% of calories.
No. Even less true, in fact. Because you still can't consume any calories whatsoever. And in fact, calories being units of heat energy, if that's indeed what food was being used for, which it fucking isn't, most proteins get absorbed into the body structures and not oxidized for energy. Ergo, don't, in effect, contain or release the number of calories that they're purported to. Because it says 4 kilocalories per gram of protein on any nutrition label you like, doesn't it? The same amount as you get from carbohydrates. Just not true, is it, Peter? Not true at all. Fucking imbecile.
Total fat in grams, percentage of calories was about 6%.
No, it isn't though, Peter. All of those figures are inaccurate. None of those accurately reflect what the people in Okinawa actually do eat. And none of them consume any calories because nobody consumes any calories anywhere on the planet. Still. Okay? What is next?
Okay, that's extraordinarily low.
What's extraordinary, Peter, is that you believe yourself remotely credible to comment on any aspect of this whatsoever. And that you fail utterly to see how destitute of common sense you are how divorced from objective reality you are, and how you are basically a misanthropist pig who ought to shut the fuck up permanently. How can you not see that?
I tell you this because you're going to hear all these people talking about fat. And just so you know, the healthiest populations in the world, the longest lived lives, the people who are vigorous and active, they're eating less than 10% of fat. And
okay, you don't know that for a fact, Peter, because once again, you were not fucking there. You did not observe. You do not know what people actually do consume anywhere in the world, clearly, on the basis that you've just put these figures for Okinawa up on the screen, these fallacious, ridiculous, nonsensical, made-up numbers. And you've just implied by omission of a statement to the contrary that the only thing that affects vigorousness, longevity, and health is the diet. Nothing else. Just that. You fucking ridiculous cunt. You absolute waste of skin.
Tata Humara are eating a little bit.
Oh, shut up. You don't know what anybody is eating except yourself, and you probably can't even remember that accurately, Peter, let alone what any population of people anywhere in the world are actually eating, or the effect of that on anything, because cause and effect requires an experimental interventional study, which do not exist anywhere on the planet, okay? So shut the fuck up. Seriously, son, it's getting beyond a joke.
Or 12, 13, but those guys are running, 100 miles in 2 days. They're extremely active.
That's what they all do, every single one of them. All the time, every 2 days, they run 100 miles. Again, were you there? Shut up, Peter. Seriously.
No automobiles. The modern West.
There are no automobiles, are there not? Maybe you're right, maybe there aren't. I don't know. But I do know that you don't know what the behaviour is of these men. Women, children, or small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri that might live in Tahu Damara. Because you're not fucking there. You don't know, Peter.
Western populations are not that active.
You don't know that either. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, they were eating.
Stop making that fucking noise with your mouth, you fucking cunt.
At the time of this study here, and this was done in about 1950, they were eating 69% of their calories from sweet
No, they're not eating any calories at all still, and you don't know what they're eating whatsoever, Peter, so shut the fuck up.
potatoes. Sweet potatoes, 1% of calories from fat. Same
No,
thing
no calories at all still, Peter. Not one, ever, from anything.
with white rice. Same thing with regular potatoes. So those are extraordinarily low in fat.
What's extraordinarily low in anything is your personage in any form of intelligence whatsoever, Peter. You are an absolute fucking retard. An arrogant, ignorant, Dunning-Kruger dripping retard. And you're as offensive as fuck.
This is our Ummah. Let's keep showing up for Gaza. Ever since October 7, 2023, life in Gaza has been
And then the thing is, you get all these people on the internet and you get this bizarre distortion of perspective.
Projection much? Is that what you did? Peter Rogers, of all people, just said all these people on the interwebs give us a distorted view of reality. What have we been listening to for the last hour in the time that I've been online here, Peter? From you. Nothing remotely akin to reality in any way, shape or form.
You know, it's like all the people on the internet. Where are you going to get your calcium? Where are you going to get your protein? Where are you going to get your good fats? And it's sort
You
of
don't even know what good fats are, Peter.
insane nonsense. You know, I've been a doctor, let's say, over about 35 years.
Have you? How is it that you haven't been struck off the register, Peter? Because you should be. No two ways about it. You admitted to malpractice earlier publicly in this video. For that reason alone, you ought to be struck off. Let alone the disinformation and the fact that you're talking about things completely outside of your sphere of expertise, i.e. human nutrition. That's not what your training is whatsoever. And you have no publication record in this field whatsoever, do you, son? None at all. Yep, incredible. Absolutely fucking incredible. By which I mean singularly lacking in any form of credibility at all, Peter Rogers.
Okay, obesity. I see a bazillion of fat patients all day long.
I've told you a gazillion times not to fucking exaggerate, Peter. This is a guy that was introduced to us by Jeff Nelson, who basically is a retard of his own, as a guy that's going to give us all the science. And he's using numbers like a bazillion to describe how many people are obese. That's interesting, considering how many people actually are on the planet, and the fact that bazillion is not a number at all. Wow.
Long every day. Hypertension, a bazillion all day long.
Oh, a bazillion of those too. All right, good. Fucking imbecile.
Long every day. Diabetes and fatty liver all day long every day. Coronary artery disease, degenerative joint disease.
Right, so you see a lot of patients who have chronic diseases of Western society. Not a bazillion, obviously, but you see a lot of them, so you say. Okay, so fucking what?
Degenerative disc disease, dish of the spine, diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis, all day long. These are all the chronic degenerative diseases. I see demented people.
Yes, so do we, Peter. Absolutely fucking demented people. Every time we tune into the interwebs, that's what we see, all over the place. A bazillion of them, Peter. Some of them worse than others, and you're right up at the top there, aren't you, Sunshine, on the list of demented turds.
All day long, endless memory loss dementia, which is primarily, hypoperfusion dementia, as well as there's a toxicology component with my supply and demand theory. We're not going to go into that now, but dementia is common. The average Western
Yes, it is, Peter.
person by 60 years of age is fat, sick, and stupid. When I say stupid, I mean they're cognitively slowed abnormally.
Yes, Peter is exactly the right sort of person to tell us all about stupidity, isn't he?
My internal medicine, I have a couple of them tell me every single one of their patients over 60 is mentally slow. Atrial fibrillation, super common. I see that all the time, every day.
Yes, so fucking what? What is your point?
Prostate cancer, very common.
Yes, what is your point still?
Whereas how many times have I seen protein deficiency? Never in my life, but everybody on the internet's worried about protein deficiency.
No, they're not. Everybody on the internet is worried about protein deficiency. Are they everybody? No, I'm not. Ergo, you're wrong. Ridiculous. Kevin Bass. Don't even get me started on that. He's another one that I tore to bits in a debate. Absolutely fucking ripped him 7 you arseholes, didn't I, kids? That's on my channel too if you want to go and watch that after this. If you can't stand one more second of this fucking turd here. Sharp pointy teeth though. Yep. Yeah. Absolute fucking idiots. All of them.
Omega-3 deficiency. I've never seen a single case. Good fats deficiency, 0.
But you don't know what good fats are though, Peter.
Never seen a single case of any of these things. Calcium.
I've said that already 3 or 4 times in the last few seconds alone, remember? No, you don't, because you're brain fogged and demented. I wonder why that is. Anything to do with the fact that a functioning human brain is like 60-something%, fat and fat-related substances?
Deficiency. Never seen a single case. Okay.
So have you ever seen a single case of any of those things, Peter? Well, we're not sure because you haven't said it 5 times in the last 3 seconds. I wish I wasn't so easily confused.
How much fat is in different foods? Oils.
Who gives a rip-roaring fuck, you mindless cunt? Seriously? Do you have any points to make at all?
Are 100% fat. You shouldn't have 1 drop of that stuff.
That's right. You should not have oils. We agree on that. None at all.
Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's right. He tells you no oil, not 1 drop.
Doctor who now? And what's his training in human nutrition? At all? Or anything else other than he was an MD? Okay.
Avocados are super fat, 84%. Plus that new thing they put on them, the AP, then EE, and then the L letter. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Go ahead.
Neither would I, even if it doesn't have a peel on it.
Read about it. Read about the medical data, safety sheets on that stuff.
Thank you, John, for the love. Appreciate it very much. Do keep the love rolling, folks, because as long as the love keeps rolling, these shows keep rolling. When the love dries up, so do these shows. Sorry about that. It's just a reality. This is what I do for a living. This is what I do for a job, among other things, like trying to run a farm unsuccessfully. Marketing cereal products, they're great. Get into them. This is Stem Enhanced Ultra. This is the hardcore carnivore version, available currently in Australia and New Zealand, but soon to be available in the European market as well. That's very, very exciting news. For the rest of you around the world, including if you're in any of those markets that have hardcore, you can also have the standard formulation of Stem Enhance Ultra. What does it do? It causes your bone marrow to release more adult stem cells than it otherwise would, and then they do magics in your body, renewing and repairing your tissues. I'm 107 years old, you know. See how good it works? Right, get yourselves into it. The link's at the bottom of the screen. Cerebral Stem Cell Nutrition. Order now, it says. 3 exclamation marks, so it must be good. https://bkaynutrition.cerebral.com. Get into it. While you're there, get yourself some Cyactive, which is an anti-inflammatory, without the side effects of the pharmacological versions, and Plasma Flow, which is a blood flow optimizer. Get them together as a pack, a wellness pack on Subscribe and Save. That way you get a price break on the products. And while you're at it, you won't pay for shipping either in that set of circumstances. I want every single one of you on those products, not because I'm getting commission. I do. But I want you on those products because of what they will do for your body. The aging that and wear and tear that these products can have a tendency to work against. It's great stuff. It's awesome. Get into it. While I say I want you all taking these products, I don't want any of you paying for them either necessarily. Hey, if you choose to, if you want to be a retail customer and pay retail price for them, absolutely, that's your prerogative. And I love customers. They're awesome. That's where most of the profit is for me. But I don't want you doing that individually necessarily. You can get your products for free if you want to. It doesn't even take much effort. A dog with a note in its mouth could do it. If you want more information on that, send me an email and I'll tell you how it's done. It's very, very easy indeed. You might also ask DC. He'll tell you how to do it as well. You could ask Coach Stephen or any number of hundreds of other people I'm joint ventured with who also believe in and promote these products because they're great. Anyway, let's get back to Peter telling us all about it though, shall we? Thank you very much, David. Appreciate that. Yep, give him hell. Yeah, I think I am doing. I'm doing my best. It's just very, very frustrating and boring and the same old nonsensical, ridiculous, anti-scientific claptrap from these absolute fuck monkeys.
You won't want to go near it. Okay, walnuts, 89% fat. Brazil nuts, almonds, about 77% fat. Cashew nuts, 71% fat.
Yeah, but that's not the reason you shouldn't eat any of those things. The reason you shouldn't eat any of those things is because nuts are extremely high in toxins and pro-inflammatory things and anti-nutrients and that kind of stuff. The nut is the seed of the plant. That plant puts most of its energy in terms of chemical defenses into its seeds. Because if an animal is going to eat any part of the plant, the last part of the plant that the plant wants you to eat is its seeds, assuming you chew them up and destroy them. Some plants want you to eat their seeds whole so that you then shit them out whole still. That's a different story. Chewing up and swallowing nuts that you've destroyed and will never grow therefore, the plant doesn't want you to do that. Ergo, it fills them up with toxins. It's nothing to do with them being fat as to why you shouldn't eat nuts. Okay?
You'll hear a lot of people recommending nuts. How are you going to eat foods that are this fat and, keep your total fat within a reasonable amount?
Well, again, that's begging the question fallacy there, Peter. Why do you think for 1 second we should limit our intake of fat as being problematic to us in some way? And what would you base that on? Should we wait for that? Or we could just play this and see if you've got anything. I doubt it, though.
Good luck. And they also are high in AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Okay, flaxseed is totally overhyped as well. It's about 61% fat, and it's super estrogenic.
Not to mention the oxalate that you'll find therein.
It's a fat storage hormone, contributes to obesity. It's got cyanogenic glycosides in it, cyanide-like compounds. I wouldn't eat that.
No, I wouldn't either, Peter.
And here's soy. Soy and flax are like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, and you're like Tweedledee and Tweedledum rolled into one. You're just a mindless fuckwit who occasionally accidentally says something worth hearing that's correct. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, though, Peter, aren't they?
They both should be avoided.
So should listening to Peter Rogers.
Super estrogenic. These are both off the charts estrogenics, many thousands of times more estrogenic than other foods, okay? Not good for your fertility, potential premature puberty. Go back and look at the old papers, not all the modern.
That's not a problem you had, obviously, is it, Peter?
Stuff that's put out by the companies, and you will not want to go anywhere near flax and soy.
That's right. I agree with that. Good.
New Zealand business owner.
Yes?
Are you sick of your insurance premiums going
Yes.
year after year
Yes, I
after
am.
year.
Yes.
Well, incredibly, this year, insurance premiums are either staying the same or even going down in most cases.
No, they're
Just
not.
last
That's a
week,
lie.
I had a client whose motor vehicle premiums were
I can't be bothered listening
When you
to
hear people
liars.
telling you soy is good, that's
Accept this one today because this is the focus.
because they're typically reading one of these modern marketing funded papers. Okay,
Marketing funded papers, Peter. Keep that in mind, boys and girls. We don't want to take anything seriously that's been funded by industry, do we?
beets a loser. Look at salmon, 50% fat, 50% protein. There's no
Yeah, but so what? Because fat's not a problem within reason, like anything else, Peter. Okay, you can overeat on any of the macronutrients, absolutely, or total nutrient, absolutely, and have a problem. But fat isn't inherently a problem to be avoided. And you can't establish that it is, despite trying. Thank you very much, Ragnar Lofbrook? No. Ragnar Odinson, son of Odin. Good. Love it. So, if Odin is your dad, perhaps you can get him to sort this fucking turd here out. Maybe send Tor or something like that. I don't know.
carbohydrate in animal foods other than milk. Even the so-called lean meats tend to be pretty high in fat. Usually the
So fucking what, Peter? Begging the question fallacy. Fat is not to be avoided inherently. Some fats are, like oils, yes. Mono and polyunsaturates are to be avoided, yes. Isolated mono and polyunsaturates, refined and all of that kind of stuff. You will find some mono and polyunsaturates in the right amount of the right kind inherently in animal fats, absolutely, yes. They're not to be avoided. It's the plant-based ones that are the problem. It seems it's not necessarily what we believe it to be the problematic thing necessarily, i.e. its vulnerability to oxidation and its pro-inflammatory nature inherently. There are commentators out there, quite sensible ones, including, all sorts of people that are qualified equally or better than you are, Peter, that are saying the problem actually might be phytosterols. Like Dr. Paul Mason has been saying that recently, I'm told. He might be right. I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet, but that would seem a much better reason why there is a clear differential, it seems, between mono and polyunsaturates from plants versus from animals. It might be the polyphenols and stuff that's in there that are causing the problem. Makes sense. I don't know if it's true or not, but it does make sense inherently.
lowest they can ever get it down to is about 25%. Okay, as far as the plant foods, we already talked about the nuts and seeds are a no-go. I think oatmeal's reasonable, 16%.
No, you just said think, Peter Rogers, referring to yourself. You don't think. You just regurgitate mindless nonsense that you've been told by somebody else without actually understanding it yourself in any way, shape or form. And you've just suggested that oatmeal isn't problematic. Whoops. Yes, it is.
Quinoa, 14%, garbanzo beans, 13%. If you're trying to lose weight, you want to lower it. The lower
No, so again, there's another begging the question fallacy, which is demonstrably false, i.e. if you want to lose weight, by which I presume you mean fat, then you need to reduce fat in your diet. No, Peter, that's not the correct approach at all. Whatsoever. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Not really a Dr. Gregor. Good, okay.
the percentage of calories from fat, the faster you lose weight. So you can eat lentils.
No, so because you still can't consume any calories whatsoever. None at all still.
They're only 3% of calories from fat.
Oh, shut up, you mindless cunt. You still cannot consume any calories whatsoever from any source.
Black beans, about 4% of calories from fat.
No, it's still wrong.
So you'll lose weight more rapidly with these. And if you really want
Nonsense. Absolute fucking nonsense. Rubbish. Just your opinion again.
to lose weight
Based on your ignorance of basic physics and first principles. Good.
fast,
So, there's a bit of that going around, isn't there, kiddies?
white rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, all 1% of calories from fat.
No calories still. None at all. Zero.
Fruits tend to be very low in fat. Same thing with vegetables.
Yeah, but they're quite high in fructose, aren't they, Peter, which is a real problem. And they're also quite high in fibre, some of them, which can also be quite problematic.
Vegetables are also very low caloric density.
No, they're not. unless you apply the same caloric density, so-called, to all foods, which is none at all still. 0 caloric density. For a start, how does something with no mass have any form of density? You fucking retard. My God, seriously.
So it's been recommended by weight loss experts, people.
Who are they, Peter? Who is a weight loss expert? Anyone that refers to themselves as a weight loss expert is not an expert in human physiology at all, by the very virtue that they call themselves weight loss experts. And anyone that suggests low fat is the way to go is a retard. Because it's not, Peter.
Like, Chef AJ, for example.
Chef AJ is a weight loss expert now. Chef AJ is a mindless vegan fucktard without any training whatsoever in human nutrition, biochemistry, or any aspect of science. She's a fucking chef.
To eat your veggies first, okay? And you can increase the percentage of your calories from veggies because
No, you can't, because you still cannot consume any calories at all from any source ever. Still.
they have the lowest caloric density.
No, still no caloric density exists. That's still a ridiculous, fallacious construct.
That'll help you to lose weight.
No, it won't. Tell you, if you want to lose weight, cut your legs off, Peter. No waiting around, no effort required, changing your diet, all that messing about with deciding what to eat. Just cut your legs off. Or, another way you can lose weight, take a shit. Have a piss. Or, move to Mars. That might be a bit more effort than just cutting your legs off, though.
Okay, what is the only good fat? I'd say the only good fat.
Oh my God, Peter Rogers, really? It's not surprising that you would say something so inane, so absolutely counter to absolutely any form of evidence, epistemology of science, or even common sense in any way, shape, or form. But nonetheless, it's still absolutely fucking gobsmacking and stunning that you would do it. Wow.
Is dietary fiber, which is a bit of a joke.
The only good fat is fiber, which is a bit of a joke, says Peter. Peter, I'll tell you what's a bit of a joke. You are. You ridiculous cunt. You are a joke. Everybody watching the stream right now is laughing at you because you are so fucking inane. You are an imbecile. A mindless fucking imbecile, an arrogant Dunning-Kruger sufferer, the likes of which I've not come across in a while. I wish that was true. I really have. Because you're a dime a dozen, you ridiculous cunts on the interwebs.
I'll explain that in a sec, but Nathan Pritikin reviewed all the literature on diet.
Oh, Pritikin. Oh, well, good. So now you're going to tap Pritikin. Just when we thought you couldn't reduce your own credibility any further, there you go.
Dietary fat up until like the early 1980s. And his conclusion is fat is bad.
Ah, well, if Nathan Pritikin said so, then he must be right, because Nathan Pritikin said so. Fat is bad. Okay.
He also said the most important way to distinguish diets is to look at the percentage of calories from fat.
Well, that shows exactly how much Nathan Pritikin understands about basic first principles of science, common sense, or anything. And the answer is nothing. Nathan Pritikin is not credible. Neither are you, Peter Rogers, not remotely.
And fat is bad.
No, it isn't still. Doesn't matter how many times you say fat is bad, okay? It still fucking isn't necessarily. Some fats are. Absolutely. Mono and polyunsaturates from plants. They're bad. Yes. Otherwise, no, Peter.
You can't win with fat.
Wrong, Peter. Many of us are doing it every single day of our lives. Jesus, look at the state of you, for Christ's sake. Are you winning, Peter? And if so, what are you winning at? I'd love to know.
You want to minimize your fat as best you can.
No, you don't. Not at all. False.
You'll automatically get.
Unless you're talking about the ones I've already agreed with you on.
enough omega-3s, even if you're just eating low-fat plant foods.
You're getting enough omega-3s if you don't as well.
The low-fat plant foods are the best delivery method to get your omega-3s.
No, they're not, Peter. Absolutely false.
Then anytime you make a supplement, there's always the issues of rancidity.
Jesus Christ. Perhaps you've read that paper published by Pim Johnson and some other bald clown about rancidity of omega-3 oils and supplements. Maybe you have read that.
Contamination, etc. Okay, here's a nice quote from Jeff. Fiber is life.
Well, so? A quote from Jeff. Well, Jeff is not credible. Jeff is an imbecile, just like you, Peter. An absolute fucking imbecile. No, fibre is not life. Yes, pharma is death, often. But fibre is not life.
Pharma is death. Okay?
Okay.
You know, the more fat in the diet, the more associated it is with leaky gut, increase in testosterone.
There are no evidences extant anywhere on the planet that can support that claim, Peter. None at all. False. Absolutely false.
Permeability, putting you at risk for...
No, there are no studies that can inform any one of us on our risk of anything whatsoever in terms of heart health outcomes as that relates to any aspect of nutrition whatsoever, Peter. Still, not one anywhere on the planet. False.
Toxemia, blood clot formation,
Just listing things that people can suffer doesn't mean that your assertion about the cause of those things is correct, Peter. It isn't. Fat does not cause any of those things to occur.
Immune diseases, thick blood too, blood sludge component from that.
That's not from fat, Peter. No.
From the fat as well.
No, it's not from fat, Peter. Just you saying that that's caused by fat doesn't make it true. It isn't true.
Insulin resistance, weight gain, diabetes. It's all bad. Tissue ischemia.
Yeah, all of those things are bad, Peter. We agree. All of those devastating health problems are absolutely not what anybody would want. None of them are caused by fat. Still.
More good fat, more cancer. It's a loser.
Yeah, I tell you what a loser is, Peter. We were looking at one before the screen went black. Enough.
Okay, here is Dr. McDougall when he's on TV. He's
All right, so now we're going to get the opinion of some dead guy, are we?
interviewing David Blankenthorne. He's a real famous atherosclerosis researcher.
Really? So?
And just a couple quotes from Dr. McDougall.
Dr. McDougall is not an atherosclerosis expert, or was not, and did not do any research, science-based, interventional-based studies in that field at all, not one. He published a naturalistic observation that was so confounded that it was laughable at one point. And now he's dead. So, should we move on?
The biggest toxin in the Western diet is the fat.
Well, that's an opinion. Do you see how that's an opinion, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Opinions being just like arseholes, remember? I.e. everybody's got one and it's full of shit.
The fat you eat is the fat you wear.
That's also false. Completely false. Absolutely false. Demonstrably false.
Moment on your lips, forever on your hips.
Rubbish. Absolute nonsense. Just theological obfuscation, propagandization, and programming attempts.
Fat causes blood sludge.
No, it doesn't, still.
Fat paralyzes the insulin receptor.
Not true. That's a very, very misleading, overly parsimonious, and as such, completely false interpretation of the effects of the thing that's parsimoniously referred to as the Randall cycle, which I've already corrected you on. I don't know how many times, Peter, so...
Causes insulin resistance.
No, it doesn't. Insulin resistance is a construct. It does not exist in the form or in the way or in the meaning that you clowns put it forward as. I've dealt with that a million times on my channel too already, if people want to watch.
Diabetes. So I'm going to show you now some papers from Dr. Blankenhorn.
So showing us some papers does not prove anything. Neither does scribbling over them like a child.
So here's these two, and the key point was this. whatever type of fat was fed to the patients,
The patients, yes.
they all caused more atherosclerosis. And
No. Absolutely false. There is nothing in that study that is able to inform on cause nor effect, Peter. Whatsoever. False interpretation. Childlike interpretation. The interpretation of a non-scientist of a piece of work put together by someone purporting to be a scientist.
it didn't matter if it was the MUFAs like olive oil or the PUFAs like omega-6 oils, or if it was, regular old saturated fat. Whatever fat they fed them, it was atherogenic.
No, atherogenic is a cause and effect statement, and this study that you've got on the screen right now is incapable of informing on cause nor effect. Still.
Okay.
No, it's not okay, Peter. You are an incompetent buffoon who needs to shut the fuck up permanently.
Atherosclerosis appears to be best influenced by lipid lowering. So
No, it doesn't, in fact. That's an opinion. And it's not backed by any empirical evidence of any kind. Still.
you couldn't win by changing fats. You had to just minimize fat.
No, that's false, Peter. So we're not even going to discuss the other paper, which is equally incapable of informing us on cause nor effect, and is also dripping with opinions rather than any actual science. I'm going to be closing off soon, folks. We're not going to get through this, and I don't think we need to, because we all get the point of how stupid this absolute cunt is. How absolutely destitute, what a waste of time this ridiculous fucking retard is.
Okay, and then here's basically
No, it's not fucking okay, you cunt.
chart of who gets what disease.
All
And,
right, who gets what disease? According to whom, on the basis of what?
and the Americans are high in everything. We talked about the
According to whom, on the basis of what?
Japanese eating the white rice,
Yeah, and you had that wrong, remember?
the Koreans and the
Because that's all Japanese eat is white rice, nothing else, Peter. And even if it were true that Japanese people ate nothing but white rice, is there anything to prove that that was the cause of anything extant anywhere in the literature, anywhere on the planet? Hello, Harry, just in time for us to close off soon, because I've had enough of this cunt, frankly.
Chinese. And what mainly got them in trouble is the high salt, but they
No, Peter, that's a cause and effect statement that you cannot support with any evidence whatsoever. None at all, still.
compensated, to some extent too, got their fruits and vegetables, so they had a balanced set of nutrients.
Ah, right, so balance is a good thing, apparently, according to this absolute fucking retarded gibbon. Jesus, Peter Rogers, a retarded goldfish has more grasp on science and the epistemology underpinning it than you do. You are an embarrassment to yourself, your country, your nation, and your whole theological standpoint. Be that what it may.
But they did very well, other than the effects of the high salt and the smoking. What gets people
So confounds exist. Good.
in trouble who eat the India diet is too much fried food.
According to you. Good. Have you got any evidence to support that claim?
Ghee a little bit. That's high-fat animal food like butter, and they do have some dairy like yogurt. But
all right. So now you know what all the Indian people eat. All 1 point whatever billion Indian people there are. You know exactly what they eat all the time, do you, Peter? You were there all the time for every one of them. And they didn't know you were observing at all, so that they couldn't possibly have had their behaviours actually altered by the fact that you were observing them. Every one of them. Good. I'm glad you're such an expert. And I'm also glad that you're capable of being in more than 1 billion places at once, at all times.
they eat a lot of fried food, and that's the main thing
Great. They all eat a lot of fried food, do they? You've got no idea what they eat, Peter, still.
that gets them in trouble. So they have a surprise.
And you also, even if you did know exactly what they eat, you have no means of linking that cause and effect to any outcome of any kind still, because no evidence exists on the planet to support any such claim. Association does not establish cause nor effect. Okay. I'm not quite finished yet, though, Harry. I'm nearly finished. I've nearly had as much as I can stand. The Americans are on a sad diet. Vagoon. Yes, they are.
High incidence of disease, despite often being very thin. Caldwell-Esselstyn was shown, prevent and reverse heart disease.
No, he didn't show anything of the sort. This is a naturalistic observation, confounded as fuck. This is not a piece of experimental science. This does not establish a damn thing except your incompetence, Peter Rogers, and I have had a gutsful. I'm done. I've had enough. It's been nearly an hour and a half to get through 17 minutes of your ridiculous, excremental, pustulous garbage. That's how wrong you have been as usual, Peter. Not a single thing that comes out of your shithole face is worth hearing, is correct, is valid, or is based on any form of science whatsoever. You are a fucking retard. You are an arrogant, offensive fucking retard, and you need to shut the fuck up. How's that? Ted agrees with me, don't you, Ted?
Yes, I agree with you.
Of course you do, because disagreeing with me is hate speech, and we can't have any hate speech here in Pinbatia. Perhaps those of you who are following my vote on who the most offensive influencer there is out there in the field of nutrition, health, science or fitness on YouTube's, maybe you might consider young Petey Rogers as being worth a mention. If you'd like to see my debate with Peter Rogers face to face, where he was actually there, physically, at least, perhaps you'd like to watch my debate with Peter Rogers, which occurred, I think it was January last year. It's on my channel. It's called Vegan Doctor Gets Schooled or something like that. It's got a very similar thumbnail to this video, with the same image at least, just different words on it. I know, I recycle things, whatever. 60,000 views that's had so far, so 60,000 people have seen what a retard Peter Rogers is. And then he made a cope video in response to that, remember? And I fucking eviscerated the boy again. Anyway, he's learned nothing. He's still spouting the same ridiculous fucking nonsense, like water off a duck's back, isn't it? Complete fucking nonsense from this lying tard. Yep, absolutely nothing to recommend anything he had to say from start to finish. Even though we didn't get to the finish in this video today because I've had enough, but there it is. All right, anyways, boys and girls, thanks for being with me. Thanks for the love that some of you have shared by super chatting. I'd like to see more super chats because I'd hate to feel like I'm wasting my time here. I really would. I'd like to feel like this is worthwhile putting forward and that you enjoy it and that it entertains you, if not educates you, because you probably all know this stuff as well as I do by now. Given that there's not too many new people coming in, mostly because YouTube don't want them to. But also maybe you could help in that respect. Anyways, I'll sing the song and then you can all get on with whatever you were doing for the rest of your days, evenings, whatever time of day it is where you are on this very, very round planet that we're on. Steak and eggs and steaks. That's what you should have for your breakfast, Peter Rogers. Eggs and steak and eggs. Just making sure you heard Peter Rogers. I don't think he did because he's incapable of hearing anything other than his theological standpoint in his claptrap. Anyway, Ted, stop twiddling that knob and hit the button that says end the stream so we can all move on with our lives. Anytime you're ready, Ted.